Assalamu alaikum, Priya Darshak. You are watching Business Talk, and my name is Sufi. As usual, we talk about business and we talk about successful people in our community. Tonight, I'm talking about a successful man who's very established in our community. I can say he's a young man, but he's also my age, so I can really relate to that. To me, I can say he's a young man. But lived in Camden, and tonight we're talking about also about accident management company. How does accident management work? The car for cash for crash. But before we talk about it, let's find out who's my guest in the studio tonight. So let me introduce my guest. His name is Abdul Samad. He's a Vantage Accident Management Company Managing Director. Assalamu alaikum, Samad Bhai. Welcome to Business Talk.
Assalamu alaikum, Sufi. Thank you very much for having me here today.
Thank you, Samad Bhai. Samad Bhai, ask camera program to slightly different. We're going to talk about on your success, but same time, accident management company Monday. Then after one running kora, and basically we want to go back a little bit because after one Manchester on television about social organization after that one always support Quran, but always it comes in a price something. But how can you afford and how do you do that? How and I you're doing really well in mashallah, and we're very proud of you as well. So আমরা একটু করে যাই আর আমরা মাঝে মাঝে আমরা মাতমু অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট সম্বন্ধে যদি কোনো কোয়েশ্চনও থাকে অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট ম্যানেজমেন্ট কোম্পানির লাগি বা আপনার কোনো অ্যাক্সিডেন্টের সম্বন্ধে you can talk to us on air as well, and we also taking a limited call because আমরা সামাদ ভাই মাতুনতাম চাই. Samad bhai, let's go back and talk about your school life. Like obviously brought up in Camden, and after school life মানে কি লাগান do করছিলা না স্কুল থেকে বাইরে কিটা করছিলা আপনি একটু দেখো.
Okay, first of all, in the show, so I attended primary, secondary, and higher education in this country. So during my secondary schooling, I also worked in a news agent, helped my brother out in his restaurant in Amtil. So I have, along with education, I've always worked.
I mean, those days, I think it was obviously, I calculate 12 বছর 15 বছরের পর্যন্ত আমরা গড়তে বার করতে আমরা 10 বার দেখি যে রাস্তা ক্রস করে খেলা but those days was slightly different.
Now, those days were different. You had to fend for yourself, and a lot of people like myself was doing the same. So I used to help out in a news agent or work in a news agent. I'm sure you done similar things at that age.
I did a paper round, news age and everything.
So like at that time, maybe my parents wasn't giving me pay, they didn't have enough money to give for, to go out and do things. So I chose to go out and do some work and do the things I like.
Samad, I will disagree with this because I tell you what, when I speak to your brother and he said you were a spoiled brother, he said you used to drive the delivery with a Mercedes, brand new Mercedes, you done a delivery, and Mercedes and tomorrow after buy and after you delivered take away delivery. I think you had a restaurant in Highgate and you had a crash. Tell me about that.
Well, that's not mine. This was my brother, so I was enjoying.
But he said that we were spoiled when we were young.
No, in cars and other things, yes, I was spoiled. But then I always earned my own money and I made my own path in life.
So you're trying to say you didn't get anything from help, obviously blessing from them, but you didn't get any help from...
No, there was the moral support there, but there was help there, but I never wanted that or needed that help.
Okay, so the restaurant money. So what did you do? Have you opened the restaurant yourself and
Yeah, so what I did in the beginning when I was 14, 15, 16, I worked with my brother, helped him out on Friday and Saturdays. And as soon as I turned 17, left school, I opened my first establishment along with your brother, myself, and Said. We opened our first takeaway in Highgate when we were 17. Kabir was about 18.
Okay, and how did you find this experience? Business
Well, at that time, actually, আমরা তো বেশি business-এর কথা বেশি বুঝতাম না. So along with studying, so we had to do something else. So
we also had a partner. আমরা the community সবাই ছিলেন Said.
Said from Victorstone.
Victorstone, yes. So he was your...
so
we used to call him a lawyer.
Us three were the partners there. So he was 17, I was 17, Kabir was about 18, so we opened our first establishment in Highgate, and mashallah from there everything
and I used to be a delivery man in a weekend.
Yes.
I remember when he closed, when he left, Sadiq gave me some money. I think I actually earned more money than you guys on that time because I used to sell cars behind, didn't he?
Probably.
So after that, like, you know, you opened more, and just tell about like a little bit more like about in Essex Road and others, like, you know, how you actually you start making money.
So along when we opened Monsoon, so it was me, Sadek, your brother, and we all had different ideologies. So the initial first one we sold. So while we was in Bangladesh, Sadek chose to sold it, which was fine. Then I came back and I said I wanted to do this. I liked it, and the business was good, the money was good. So I opened a chain of takeaways, so covering mainly in North London. So we had Islington, Camden, Putney, Mitcham.
You had a lot of branches.
Yeah, Hackney. So we had a lot of branches there, and I did that till 2007.
So obviously you did all right with one or two, but others you didn't do that well. What went wrong? I mean, what do you think if you go back again? Wrong kito is it? If you think now and say like, I mean,
well, as you know, there was quite a few. There was about 17. So the wrong is people did not have because I couldn't manage 17 myself. So people didn't have the hunger that I had. If I opened a place, I wanted that place to do well. I wanted to make money. And some people were just happy because we were young then. So some people were just happy with the 250 or 300 wages. They didn't want any more than that.
Your partner you're talking about?
Your partners, yes.
And tell me one thing, like, you know, obviously we see now in the Indian restaurant, we see Just Eat, delivery, with lots of our branded. But you had the idea many years ago, like how Just Eat doing now, or other company like Chef Online and things like that. So share this, you know, when you had a branch in Kensington, you were doing not with the online, but you were doing different style-wise, but trying to make the same way how Just Eat making money, 20% or 18%, whatever the rate. So how did you get this idea?
I guess it was in 1997.
Yeah.
So I had obviously 17 restaurants at the takeaways at the time. So I thought, why can't we make all these 17 into one? So I opened a company called currylondon.co.uk.
Okay.
So at that time, everybody wasn't that technical. So what we used to do is, so we used to leaflet Curry London and advertise Curry London. So and then there was one call center where they would take the calls, and then we would fax that order to the local restaurant, and they would go and deliver it.
Also, you used to include other restaurants as well?
Yes, and other restaurants as well. So
that's what I'm saying, like you had that kind of vision on that.
I had the idea, but I wouldn't be able to deliver the whole full of it. So I sold it on to another company, which are probably that company at some point, Just Eat must have bought that company off at some point.
Okay. So you left, why did you leave the restaurant business then? What was the reason?
Restaurant was very good, and I hope it's still good. The reason I left it was I wanted a break, and managing all this at once wasn't so. I had other ideas to make money. So I thought, let's put this aside and go and do something else. So at one point I went to Bangladesh to do some business. It didn't work out. So
tell me about Bangladesh, because I always like to hear in my show when people invest in Bangladesh how success they are in Bangladesh. So obviously you bought lots of land and you know, other stuff. How did you find Bangladesh? Because you went one point, you went Bangladesh for good. You took your family, everything. And I remember I told you, I said, like, you'll be back again, So I'm not happy you're back, because I wanted you to stay there, and so at least you can look after Horta. But what went wrong in Bangladesh?
Well, actually nothing went wrong. Bangladesh is the opportunity, the country with lots of opportunities, and you know, obviously the system is difficult, but it's a country to make a lot of money, and you can make money quite quickly. The reason I came back home is the difficulties of my wife, my children, adjusting to the country and its ways. After 11 months, they thought, oh no, this is not what we want. So I had a daughter, she's in her teens, so it was 13, 14 at the time. So she gave me the hard time, and then I thought, no, if they're not happy here, then... And I didn't enter into business at that time. I was just observing and looking at what I can do. So then when the family wasn't happy, I thought, no, I'll come back to this country.
Right. Investing a lot of money on land in Sylhet. How do you regret to invest this money, or do you still think you are doing good? Or
I wouldn't regret it. What it is, that will be with land you could never lose money. So it's there. If I ever need it, that's my pension, isn't it?
Okay, that's okay. This is the only business you actually stayed very long, and mashallah, you've done really well. compared to your catering. You've done well in catering on that age, yeah? Compared to now, obviously it's different, yeah? Accident management company, all right? It's like I used to do finance, mortgage. So that time you used to see people walking on the street and picking up phones that can I help you. We used to see advert in the TV. Now we had the same thing in our community. Every one of them was doing accident management company. We knew a few of the biggest company in Bangladeshi community was doing, and they were doing very well. They're still doing very well. So why did you come to that accident management company, and how good are you doing at the moment?
Okay, accident management came to me by chance. So when I was away, when I went to Bangladesh, my partner Yusuf was also in Bangladesh, so he stayed in my house for about 2-3 months.
In Bangladesh?
Yeah. So he was going at me every day, you know, let's do this, because he's been involved in the business, you know, for a long time. And I didn't think much of it, and I wasn't quite convinced to go into the business. So when I came back, obviously I had nothing to do. So I had no businesses, I had no work. So I thought, okay.
So is it easy money? Why don't I do it? Or is it?
No, I didn't know anything easy money, hard money. Nothing is easy money. So I gave it a little thought, and I said, okay. So we came with a business plan how to start, and I agreed with him to go into this business. I didn't know nothing about it. I didn't understand it. He was telling me for 3 months how it is. I still didn't understand it, and I said, okay, why is he being so persuasive? Let me give it a try.
Okay. We had in our community, even in ATN Bangla, we used to have at least 3-4 advert in the TV, accident management company, different name. But most of them are actually no longer in the business. Why do you think is that, and how cautious you have to be, like how perfect you have to do? Like I get the rules and regulation has been changed, like I get onek tini shoito. Igula koto kosto more paperwork. You probably have more paperwork to do now than before.
No, what it is with every industry, if you have money, there's a lots of money out there for everyone to earn. If the industry doesn't have money, then everything is shrank. So. And more contingency, more compliance, more stringent. So we're dealing with insurers. If they have the money, the amount of things they look at now, they would probably not look at it and say, okay, just let's pay them. When they don't have the money, they have to look at saving.
If you look at in London, Manchester, Birmingham, Bradford, why is the insurance so high?
Well, the insurance...
I would blame someone like you, say like Afnar Lagi, false claim. Are you agree with me or disagree?
No, I totally disagree. Companies do not make false claims. Individual make false claims. Good companies will vet it properly.
They will check it.
They will check it, but you can't check 100% what is true, what is not true. But a good company will have a sense of good and bad claims. So it's down to the individuals. Companies can't be blamed for it, but it's all easy for insurers to say, oh, the insurance is going up because of all these claims. So if you go back from 2007 to what I do now, the fraudulent claim rate is very low. So has our premium gone down?
No, it's still going up. But we don't hear this in the media as much as we used to hear before.
Yeah, so our premium has not gone down, it's always going up. So if you're paying a higher price, it's never going to go to lower price.
Yeah. Like every year it goes up because of the...
Yeah, but that's fine because that's harmful to individuals.
But no one actually stops smoking though. They still...
No, I'm sure it does some prevention. Yeah. So what you're saying, the industry that the claims...
When I moved from Camden to Wood Green, and Wood Green to when I've been to Hertfordshire, my insurance went down.
Yeah. So if you look at there's a lot of people live in Camden, a lot of young people. If you go to Hertfordshire, there's older people. Young people are more likely to have more accidents. There are more cars to the household. The population is more. So the insurance have their own ways of putting a premium on a postcode, on a person, on a car. So yes. So the further you live out, it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, Samad, I lot in advert we see like, especially like Bangladeshi community television adverts, suppose ATN or other channels, yeah. যখন accident হয় তারা দেখে খুশি হয় এটা মানে কতখানি আপনি এগুলোকে এগ্রি করেন যে একটা অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট হয়েছে you should be upset, you should be worried, yeah, but he's saying don't worry, go to একটা এক্সাম্পল দিতে পারি, go to Vantage, will help you, মানে এরকম সম্বন্ধে আপনি মানে কিতা মনে করেন মানে যখন একটা অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট হলে তো you should be worried, but how is he more?
Well, maybe your adverts portray happiness, but when an individual is involved in an accident, actually there's nothing to be happy about. Yeah, so there's nothing to be happy about, because as an individual, it's a very, very stressful process. So, you know, maybe in your adverts people look very happy when they've had an accident, but in real terms, when people have accidents, fault or non-fault, their premiums go up until the case is settled. They don't get they lose income, they don't get replacement in car in time, and there's so many difficulties people face.
Tell me one thing, like I always wonder, I had a accident quite a while ago, and it was a big climb because my car actually rolled over to someone else, and I had a lot of our community people say, oh, I can get you this, I can get you this benefit, blah blah blah. What is the difference going from direct from your insurance company or coming to a specialist like you? Like, what's the difference? Kita help হয় মানে especially আপনারও কথা কইরা যারা আমরা বিশেষ করে যারা মেনিক্যাব ড্রাইভার আছে ও তারা লাগে কিতা বেনিফিট?
Very good question, because that is
আমি personally মনে করি আমি সামাদ বাগে যাইতাম খানে.
Yeah, this is a $1 million question. Yes, so as you understand our community, why the services are probably different. So difference between their insurance or our insurance, if someone comes to my company, I probably can give them a car in the middle of the night.
So you take the risk, basically.
You being the insurance company, you will not be able to provide a client with a car any time of the day. Second thing is the language barrier. It's a lot of filling up forms, being on the telephone for hours and hours, and then talking to one file handler to another file handler. So that's the difference. With us, you come, you see us, you meet us, your car's outside, so there's no, like, you know, in other essence, there will be one recovery company, one hire company, one injury company. So lots of people will be involved if you go to your insurance company. While you go to a management company, basically they will deal with everything for you.
So tell me about, I'm going to come back to you on that question again. Injury claim, what injury claim or restriction kilahan?
Well, there is no restriction on the injury claim. It's maybe the compensation size has gone down, but there is no restriction. But this injury claims in due time, maybe in 2019, the government are changing the laws. So if your injury claim size is less than £2,000, you probably have to get your own legal representative.
The money you're going to make from the if you win the case.
I don't know how it's going to work for individuals, but that might be the case.
Okay, so your mainly customers are many cab drivers, or is it overall everything?
No, we cater for everybody, but I seem to get a lot more minicab drivers.
Most accident management companies, especially in our Asian, always, you know, trying to campaign for minicab driver. Yeah? So the benefit is obviously tara English matafana, but tara igula mani processes kila. Once you have an accident, what do you do?
So once someone has an accident, they come to us, we take the whole circumstances, then we notify the insurance company that, look, this has happened. So, and then we wait for further response. So in 5, 6, 7 days time, we send them the damage report. So what damage is into the car, and ask for payments. And that's how it works.
Okay. So you know when someone have an accident and ikta যদি আমি দেশে কোনো সময় অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট এডভার্টাইজে মানে টাকা আপনার যদি 200 না তে আমরা রেফান্ড হরত জানিয়ে সো বেসিক্যালি সাপোজ আপনি তারা মিসলিডিং করিল হইল বলা কি জানি আমার দোষ নাই 50-50 claim. So who takes the risk of that? Do you still charge them?
Yes, of course. Ultimately the client is liable for everything. So a lot of the companies work like that. So we'll assess it. We would know, even if someone was not telling the whole truth, we would know by seeing the seeing the damage of the country.
Okay, Samad bhai, thank you. Coming after the break. Darshak, আপনারা আমরা থাকবা. We'll be back after the break and you can hear from Samad bhai what he's got to say about his success. So stay with us.